view religion, gods, or even gods as one of the most fundamental of all beliefs we attain throughout life. We start from a child and we carry it throughout our lives. Religious ideologies have been around for literally all of man's recorded history. And although there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of religions out there, there are three very basic ideologies that we can break these down into. Those religious ideologies would be theism, agnosticism, and atheism. And all three have their reasons for their believers. And I think it's best that we start by talking about theism, as that is what most people would identify with. Now, being a theist, or believing in theism as defined by the Merriam-Webster dictionary, is the belief in the existence of God or gods. Now, that's the definition, but what does being a theist really mean? Being a theist means believing in at least one supernatural being. Believing in more than one supernatural being, or God, would still be a theist. It's just believing in a God, period, would be what makes you a theist. Now, theists know through some form of an idea or reasoning that at least one of these deities exists. Whether it be a religious experience, they were told by family, or they have some other conclusion they came up to that they believe that a God exists. Theism is the most popular of all religious ideologies, and it's usually defined by a set of rules or a religion. Religions such as the Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, etc. Many, many others. Another religious ideology would be agnosticism. Although it lacks any actual religion in it, it's still a religious ideology. The definition of agnostic, as defined by Mr. Robert Carroll on skeptic.com, the Skeptic's Dictionary, is: agnosticism is the position of believing that knowledge of the existence or the non-existence of God is impossible. Again, that's a definition, but what does that mean? Well, being an agnostic means that they can't say for sure that a deity exists without proof. They also can't say that a deity does not exist without proof. It is basically the claim that we can't say we know for sure, and it's usually due to a lack of evidence. Now, it's neither admitting the existence of a God nor denying the existence of a God. It's also called the religious philosophy, or the scientific philosophy to religious philosophies, as a lack of proof is their basis for the idea. Although being agnostic is more of an unsure belief, atheism, just like theism, is a very specific and defined ideology. The definition of being an atheist, as defined by the Department of Religious Studies at the University of Alabama, is the philosophical position that denies the existence of God or of gods, plural. What being atheist means is that there's no beliefs in deities whatsoever. And usually atheists, they have to defend or obtain their belief by logical philosophies and or contradictions of logical reason in religious text. An example would be in a monotheist example, such as a one-God religion, such as Christianity. Why would a holy, good, and all-knowing God let evil happen? Now, I'm not here to discuss that or debate that by any means, but those are the types of questions that atheists usually bring about to defend their belief. But atheists, just like theists, know through some form of reasoning or through an idea that deities do not exist. And all those are the three beliefs and the main philosophies of religion in our entire world. Any religion you can base into and put into one of these three categories. All three beliefs have their own merit and validity. All three have their own believers and for their own reasons. But for any situation you encounter now, you'll be able to identify the differences in theism, agnosticism, and atheism. A possible valuable tool in the future, as we don't want to misunderstand or mistake anyone's ideology. After all, the difference could be godly. How people view religion, God, or even gods is one of the most fundamental of all beliefs we attain. We usually garner this belief from a very young age, and we carry it throughout life. Religious ideologies have been around since all of man's recorded history. And although there are thousands upon thousands of actual religions around and out there, there are three very basic religious ideologies that we can group them all into. Those ideologies would be theism, agnosticism, and atheism. All three have their reasons for their believers, and I think it's best we start by talking about theism, as theism is what most people identify with. Now, the definition of being a theist by the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary is the belief in the existence of God or gods. Now, that's the definition, but what does being a theist really mean? Being a theist means believing in at least one supernatural being. Believing in more than one supernatural being would still make you a theist. It's just that you have to believe in at least one of them. Now, theists know through some form of an idea or reasoning that a god or gods exist. Whether it be a religious experience they had, whether it be they were taught by family, or some other conclusion that they came up to, they have some idea or some reason for believing this. Now, theism is also the most popular of all religious philosophies. Theism is also usually defined by a set of laws or rules called a religion. And religions such as the Abrahamic religions, for example, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, all of them have commandments, laws, religious rules that they have to follow. Another religious ideology would be agnosticism, though it lacks any real religion in it. An agnostic, as defined by Mr. Robert Carroll on skeptic.com, the Skeptic's Dictionary, is agnosticism is the position of believing that knowledge of the existence or the non-existence of gods is impossible. Now, again, that's a definition, but what does that mean? It means that being an agnostic means you can't say for sure you know that a deity exists without any proof. You also can't say that you know a deity does not exist without any proof. Basically, the claim is that we can't say we know for sure. We don't have the intelligence to know. And it's due to a lack of evidence. It is neither admitting the existence of God, nor is it denying the existence of God. Sort of an in-between and unsure. It's also called the scientific take on religious philosophy, because it lacks evidence. Although being agnostic is more of an unsure belief, atheism, just like theism, is a more specific and defined ideology. The definition of being an atheist by the Department of Religious Studies at the University of Alabama is the philosophical position that denies the existence of God or the gods. So what being an atheist means believing in no deities or supernatural beings whatsoever. They usually obtain their belief and also defend their belief by logical philosophies and also contradictions of logical reasons in religious text, as religious texts are the only evidence for gods that we have anyway. For example, in a monotheist example, in a one-god religion, why would a wholly good and all-knowing God let evil happen? Now, I'm not here to debate that, but those are the type of examples that atheists use to define their reasoning and their logic for religion. But just like a theist, an atheist has obtained this belief, and they know, through some form of reasoning or idea, that deities or gods do not exist. And those are the three basic beliefs of the main philosophies of religion in our entire world. Any religion can fall somewhere in this category. All three beliefs have their own merit and their own validity, and all three have their believers for their own reasons. Now, for any situation you encounter now, you will be able to identify the differences in theism, agnosticism, and atheism. A possible valuable tool in the future, as religion is a very powerful thing, and we do not want to misinterpret anyone's ideology, as the difference could be godly.